Let's talk about Donald Trump's dangerous disregard for students, for our children, because justice matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirschner here. So Donald Trump has just proclaimed in his typical king-like fashion that schools will reopen in September. You know, he might as well just gather the kids around the TV and tell them, hey, listen up, first graders, second graders, third graders. I don't care what your state or county or local public health officials say. I don't care if your state or your community is struggling with a coronavirus spike. You will be going back to school in September. Your butts will be in those classrooms come fall. And then Donald Trump had one of his, I think lackeys is the job title, Betsy DeVos, Secretary of Education, go on TV today and reinforce and reaffirm what Donald Trump is saying. She said, yes, the schools will be open and students will go back to school in September. They have to go back to the classroom because it's important for their socialization, Betsy DeVos tells us. You know, I'm no child psychologist, but, you know, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that there are probably other things equally important to their socialization, like staying alive, remaining coronavirus free. But, you know, I guess billionaire heiress Betsy DeVos knows best how to safely educate our children. You know, folks, the Trump administration at this point is really nothing more than callousness and chaos and cruelty, all steeped in the coronavirus. Here's the good news, because there's always good news nearby. Donald Trump doesn't have the power to order schools open in September. That is a uniquely state and local power. How can I say that? Well, we have this little thing called the 10th Amendment to the Constitution. The 10th Amendment sets out what are federal powers and what are state and local powers. Let's read the 10th Amendment. It's very short, and then let's talk about what it means. So the 10th Amendment reads, the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively or the people. All that means is only the powers that are enumerated in the Constitution, set out in the text of the Constitution as belonging to the federal government, are the powers that the federal government has and can exercise. All of the other powers are reserved to the states and the people. I challenge Donald Trump to read the Constitution front to back. Like there's a chance that's going to happen. Nowhere in the Constitution will he find anything that says or suggests or even hints at a federal power to direct that state and local schools open. Of course, undeterred, Donald Trump also tries to ratchet up the threats and the intimidation via tweet. Today he sent out 2 tweets on this topic. Let's take a look at them. The first tweet sent out by Donald Trump reads as follows, quote, I disagree with the CDC. Let me pause there. The CDC, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, is a federal government agency headed up by people Donald Trump appointed. And yet the first thing he says is, I disagree with the CDC. I disagree with my own federal government agency. The tweet goes on to read, I disagree with the CDC on their very tough and expensive guidelines for opening schools. While they want them open, they are asking schools to do very impractical things. I will be meeting with them, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. Donald Trump really wanted them to know that he would be meeting with them. Okay, so that's the typical ridiculous, inane Donald Trump tweet. The next tweet he sent out on this topic is really troubling. Here's how it reads. Quote, in Germany, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, and many other countries, schools are open with no problems, all caps. The Dems think it would be bad for them politically if U.S. schools open before the November election, but it's important for the children and the families. Here comes the money line. May cut off funding if not open. Close quote. Well, there are two notable things about that tweet. One, Donald Trump is admitting in substance that he doesn't have the power to order the schools open. Why? Because if he did, he wouldn't have to threaten to withhold federal funding in order to coerce the states to open their schools. So, contradicting himself inside of 30 minutes. Shocking, I know. But here's the more troubling aspect of that tweet. He says that, the schools might not want to open in September, but I will withhold federal funding if they don't do me a favor, though. I will not provide them the congressionally appropriated money for education that they have coming if they don't open in September as I am demanding. Sounds like a quid pro quo. Where have we heard that before? Yeah. In his call to President Zelensky of Ukraine, the one that got him impeached, when he told President Zelensky, I'm not giving you this congressionally appropriated money unless you do me a favor, though. Unless you, announce false dirt on Joe Biden, my political opponent. And here we go again. Donald Trump threatening to withhold federal funding to the states for education unless they give in to his demand to open in September. The states will hopefully make reasonable decisions based on what their public health experts are saying as September grows near. They're not going to give in to Donald Trump's extortionist threats. One thing that I think we can all agree on is that nobody can accuse Donald Trump of ever learning from his mistakes. Folks, please stay safe. And I look forward to talking with you all again tomorrow.